All right, folks, welcome back, and hopefully everyone has caught my last video with my giveaway for hitting 1,000 subscribers. If you have not, I will link that video in the description below, and also a link to the giveaway, which ends on March 20th. So in preparation for that giveaway, over the next month, we're going to be doing a load workup with Bear Creek bullets. There is no load data. We're going to look through that. You can't find load data on these bullets, most lead cast bullets. So how do you determine how you load these? Well, we're going to go through that. So today's video is all about Bear Creek bullets. Let's get going. Let the public know what you think about our Second Amendment by wearing gear from Shield Republic. Idaho Reloader is a proud ambassador of Shield Republic. Get your message out for both men and women with a variety of messages to let them know what you think. Hats to use at the baseball game, and even gun mats for your bench while you're cleaning your weapons. ShieldRepublic.com, and for a limited time, get 10% off using coupon code Idaho Reloader at ShieldRepublic.com, and yes, I am a customer. Okay, I have picked up a few different types of bullets that I have never fired before for Bear Creek. These are 40 caliber. I've got 155 grain semi-wad cutters. I've got 140 grain round nose flat point, and I've got some 180 grain flat points as well. So I've never fired these before, and so it's important for me to work up a good recipe on what's going to fire best out of my particular gun. So my 40 caliber, I use a Glock 23, so keep that for reference. We're going to use a few different powders for this testing, and this is going to go on throughout the month. So this is all not going to be one video. There's way too much going on here. So my intention is we're going to use a few different powders. We got CFE pistol, very popular pistol powder. We've got accurate number 2 as well, and we got my tried and true tight group on the docket as well. I'll be loading up CCI number 500 with these, and I've got a whole gaggle of 40 caliber stuff here that needs loaded, and those are ready. All right, so load data. I love my tried and true complete guide to 40 S&W. This is always a good book, but when it comes to lead cast, you're going to be in a lot of trouble because you're just not going to find it. So for example, my intention is to start with the 140 grain round nose flat point. So if we look at the accurate powder, the 140 grain, that is a lead cast, but it is a truncated cone bullet as well. But we don't know what type of lead cast it is. Probably a Lyman bullet. I think that's what the L in parentheses there means, is a Lyman bullet. So they say 5.9 to 6.6. So that's interesting. If we actually look at the Lyman book, which I have right here, Lyman does have a section typically for lead cast bullets. But again, we don't know what the manufacturer of these are, but they don't list 140 in here, and they're 150 grain. They say at starting load at 5 grains, as opposed to 150 is 5.9. So that's sort of interesting. If we look at our burn chart up here for these powders, tight group's going to be the fastest burning of these. Up at the top there, accurate number 2 is a little bit farther down, and CFE pistol is even farther down. Much slower burning powder. So we got a lot of different options there. Okay, so 140 grain They're saying 5.9 over here with the lead cast, a truncated cone, 5.9. So I think what I'll do is I'm going to start lower than that. Again, the rule of thumb here, always start low and work your way up. I think I'm going to start a touch lower than that. We're going to start 5.7. We'll do it in 0.2 of a grain increments. So I'll do 5.7, 5.9, 6.1, 6.3, and 6.5. I think I'll end at 6.5, and we'll see how that works out. So we'll start with accurate number 2, and we'll get those loaded up. And you can see the case overall length here for these, 1.115. I'm not even going to look at that number, to be honest. I'm not going to shoot for that. It's really going to be based off of how the bullet's going to seat here. We're essentially going to try to be seating to just below where the tip of the bullet there, where it starts to pitch over there. So that's what we're going to be trying to shoot for, and we'll sort of see what that length ends up at. So that's what we're going to do today. All right, so I've got some bullets here. I was going to hand load these, but I decided not to. I'm just going to get them up on my Dillon. I'm going to get these primed, and we'll get the accurate loaded up in the press. We're going to go ahead and load up. Shoot, again, I already forgot what I said. This is why it's important to write things down. Okay, so we are going to do 5.7. Yeah, 5.7, 5.9, 6.1, 6.3, and 6.5, which is going to take us just a touch below what the guide here says for the Lyman lead cast truncated cone bullet. So we'll go up to 6.5, and then we will determine what the case overall length is. So we'll get these loaded up, 5 apiece. That's going to be 25. I got to get 5 more out here. We'll get them on the press. We'll get them loaded up, and we'll see how that does. Okay, got the press loaded up with my accurate primers are loaded in there. Unfortunately, I have not had the time to calibrate my easy dial for the accurate number 2 yet, so we're gonna have to just sort of play with this to get the right charge weight. By the way, if you have not seen the video on this easy dial, you definitely want to check that out. I will link that video in the description as well. All right, well, let's run around here. Let's get this primed. Sure that's seated there. Yep. And let's drop a few charges here just to get this thing calibrated. I'm just going to dump these right back in the hopper. Okay, let's turn my scale on here. Let's see what we get. Let's go ahead and put this cartridge on here and zero that out. And this first charge, we are looking for 5.7. And that is 3.8. Yeah, I think we're going to be there this time. .7. There we go. All right, so let's go ahead and seat a bullet on that, and hopefully I don't have to take this one apart. Let's see what my seating depth is on this. Okay, definitely not deep enough. So let's take that down a little bit. And let's reseat. Okay, still not quite deep enough, and actually I'm going to take this down another notch or so. And I'm also going to go grab the barrel from my Glock. Okay, that's looking a little better. Let's see what the length is on this. So the manual for the 150 grain yeah, so they're saying 1.090 roughly, but that's for a 150 grain. Right now I'm at 1.092, so we're pretty close to that actually. Let's go ahead and just take this down maybe just a millimeter, and let's reseat that. Okay, so 1.090, and I'm going to pause and go grab my barrel of my gun real quick, and let's see how that works out. Alright, before we check that in the barrel, let's go ahead and set a crimp on this real quick. That should be set already. Let's take a look. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Alright, so we're going to take our barrel, and we're just going to drop it in, and we're going to make sure that it goes in well and it drops out well. Alright, so that's good right there. Okay, so we're going to go with 1.090, so that seat depth looks good. It's just a touch below the taper there. Could maybe seat just a bit more. That'll be interesting to see actually how these fire, and if we don't get a good result, you know, out of any of these weights, you know, I might come back to the bench and try seating that maybe in a little bit deeper. Try to give the bullet just a little more jump there before it hits the lands of the barrel. So, all right, let's quickly seat 4 more of these. Let's get these put on my tray here. And I'm going to double check these weights here real quick as well, since I sort of started over here. Okay, here we go. Wow, that loaded 9 grains in there. What in the world? Yeah, something happened there. Let's try that again. There we go. Alright, something, I think it was my scale. Had a primer flip on me there. Alright, let's check this one real quick as well. I can find my measuring tool here. Okay, that looks good. Let's do a barrel check. That looks good as well. Alright, let's load up 3 more in quick succession. And yeah, I got my locator pins out right now just because I'm busy pulling bullets in and out here. So I got to be careful when I'm priming. Make sure it doesn't slip out of there. I'm going to put this pin back on my crimp. One right there. Okay, that looks good. Quick check on these, make sure primers didn't flip over. Those look good. Let's do a barrel check. Looks good. Good. And good. All right, those went well. All right, I'm not going to bore you with the rest of these. I'm going to go ahead and load up the other 20. Again, we're going to go 5.9, 6.1, 6.3, and 6.5, and then we'll come back. Okay, rounds loaded, all labeled here, 5.7, 5.9, 6.1, 6.3, 6.5. The case overall length on those ended up being 1.090. And so let's hit the range and let's see what works best out of these. Okay, out at the range, a little bit of snow here today, obviously. All right, so I got the target set up at 10 yards. I am shooting open sights and not the greatest with the handgun, to be honest, but we're going to start with the 5.7 grains. Again, this is accurate number 2. And see if I can embarrass myself on camera here. And there is a noise cancellation on this mic, so you won't hear the gunshot, but you'll see it hit the target. We're going to start. We're going to aim at the top left target. Okay, here we go. Last one definitely went off a little bit. Okay, next up, 5.9 grains. That one started out pretty good, but that last one really tailed off there. Okay, again, 5.9 grains, and we will go for the top right target this time. Sort of same thing as the last one. It started out really good, and then the last one goes awry. By the way, the brass, last one looks pretty good. No cratering from the primer. That looks pretty good. Yeah, no issues with the brass at all. Okay, next up is going to be 6.1. Okay, here we go. We'll go for the middle target. I think I've got those separated over there. So middle target. Okay, that one was sort of all over the place. Okay, I'm going to go up to 6.3, and if this one does not do as well as they were previously, I'm probably not going to go up to 6.5. That last one did not produce all that well. Not terrible. I'm going to say it's probably maybe a 5-inch group there. Okay, again, 6.3 grains on these. We'll go to the bottom left. All right, yeah, it's pretty good actually. It's the best group yet. 6.3 seems to be dialed in there. All right, let's go ahead and go up to 6.5. See what that does. I think I got those shots separated. I might have to go back to the video and carve those out so we can get some group sizes. By the way, the brass on 6.3 looks just fine. No issues, no primer problems, and we're definitely not close to max here. Okay, 6.5. We will go to the bottom right target. I'm honestly not sure where a couple of those hit. I think I see a couple of those, but let's take a look at that brass. Yeah, no problems there at all. That looks really good. Okay, yeah, so test complete. Based on what I see from here, looks like 6.3 grains was the sweet spot there. So let's get back to the bench and let's do some measuring. I'll review this video and see where all those shots on that last one landed. But let's see what I come up with. All right, back to the bench and reviewed some footage. I made sure I was able to carve out where each of these were. I'm sorry, I might need to use a different target next time. I use these so they're easy to see where those shots are, but I realize it's hard afterwards to mark and see on camera, so I apologize. First, let's take a look at the brass here real quick. No problems whatsoever. Let me zoom in there if I can. There we go. So here's the light load. This was 5.7. Come on, focus there. There we go. And all the way up to 6.5. Yeah, no problems with the brass whatsoever. So that looks good. Definitely weren't overpressuring anything. And on the results here, I went ahead and did some measuring. Here was a group 1 up here. Group 2 starts here and out here. Group 3 is down here. Group 4 was here, and then group 5. And the second shot on group 5, actually I might see it here down here now. Couldn't find it before on camera. Looks like it went way off. Yeah, I'm going to throw that group out. So best grouping was out of group number 4, 6.3 grains, 3.8 inches. Once you keep in mind that I was shooting this freehand with open sights as well at 10 yards. And again, I'm not probably the greatest handgun shooter in the world, but 3.8 inches again. And this is with a powder and a bullet that I've never used in the same combination before. So accurate number 2 is generally not a powder I use ever, to be honest. I bought it early this spring when the COVID pandemic started hitting. My tight group and my CFE pistol I couldn't find, and so I just bought accurate number 2 in a pinch. I do have some 9mm I've loaded with it. But I've never loaded 40 with it, and I've never loaded it with this round. So this was a great test for me. I'm pretty happy with these results, but you can see what you need to do when you're loading. Really, this is for any round, but particularly with the Bear Creek lead cast, is that you need to work up a good recipe for what's going to work with your particular weapon. Look at some load data with the standard ammunition, and come up with the ballpark on where you think you're going to be, and start low. I started below the minimum of what the load data suggested for a typical, I think it was an FMJ. I started below that, and I worked up to this max load, which was actually below the suggested max for those. It looks like I found a sweet spot here. So what I'll probably do later on is do some further testing around 6.3 grains. I might go 6.2, 6.3, 6.4. And maybe even adjust my overall length just a touch to see if I can tighten this up even a little bit more. But I'm happy, a 3.8-inch group at 10 yards, that's good. Somebody comes in my house, it's going to be a 10-yard shot. If I can shoot that type of group, that's just fine with me. So that's it for today's video. So next week, I think what I'll do is I will take some CFE pistol, and we will load up. I say let's go for the 180 grains. So we'll do the 180 next week with CFE pistol. Again, this is a combination I've never done before. So we will look up some load data, we'll load up some rounds, and we will go try them out. So that's it for today. Thank you very much. By the way, if you have not subscribed, make sure you do that. Check out that previous video over here with the giveaway. You don't want to miss that, and you can subscribe right there. Thank you all very much. Hope you're having a fantastic day.